Hello, Susan Asher Torres here, your Service District Educator for Ulta Beauty, Central California North. I am so excited to share with you today some things from our mastery courses at Ulta Academy. In this course, we learn a lot about braiding and upstyling. And today, I will share with you a very simple updo that can be both elegant and fun. You can make it whatever you want. After all, you are the artist. All you'll need today is a beautiful mannequin or friend. I will be using Gabby. She has not been cut yet. Her hair is fairly long, which makes it easier to create these braided up styles. I'll also be using one of my favorite hairsprays. It has high shine, which would be the Bedhead Masterpiece hairspray. Another thing I'll be using for shine and control is going to be the High Shine Finishing Cream by the Dry Bar, which is called the Chaser. And I absolutely love the creamy consistency of this and how it helps me have not only some control, but again creates that shine and balance in the hair. Another thing I'm going to be using is our powder play from Big Sexy Hair. I absolutely love this. There's a couple different ones out on the market, and I've tried almost all of them and I love them all equally, but I love this for the grip and for how transparent it is, and it doesn't really leave a residue if you work it into the hair, and you can really add that texture and volume you need for your bobby pins and hair pins to stick, so I love that too. You'll also need a couple bobby pins, hair pins, and 3 elasties. So let's get started. So I've combed Gabby into her natural fall, but for this particular updo, something that I'm going to do, and I'm really just doing this to show you a step-by-step of how to create the back portion of it. The front you really want to get creative with. Maybe add some curls, maybe leave some pieces down, whatever your guest wants. If she has fringe, you can definitely utilize that fringe and keep it looking very soft, you know, like bringing some pieces up, down around the face would be fantastic. But you're the creator, so you get to do whatever you'd like there. I'm going to be using my cushion brush. This particular brush is one of my favorites. It is made by Olivia Garden, and it is similar to the Denman brush, only a little bit wider, so I like how much hair I can grab with this one. It does have mixed bristles, and to get this updo started, I'm going to be combing everything off to one side. Now, whether it goes to the left or the right, again, is up to you and your guest. So I'm just going to start working the hair back and away from the face, just so I can start filling those holes, really getting everything moving in the direction that I want it to go in. To give a little bit of hold, I'm going to sprinkle some of my powder play into her hair. I don't want to spray hairspray right away, so that's why I'm going to put this in there. She has a definite part, so with that, I need to break that up. So here I'm going to comb this over once again, really getting it into position. That powder grip has given me a nice start. And as you can see, I'm just combing it back. And what I'm doing is combing it back and into my hand off to the side here. I'm going to utilize my comb to break this down into 2 sections. And it's going to go from right at the ear, just below the crown. And I'm going to piece that off into 2 sections. Now, the lovely thing about this updo is that we're really just using 2 ponytails. However, we're not going to put this first part into an elastic. We're just going to braid this section. So as you can see here, I have 2 sections. I've divided the hair in half, and now I'm going to braid this. You can do a French braid if you'd like. You could do, if you wanted a French braid, say from the side coming back, you could do a fishtail braid. It comes out very pretty that way. It makes the braid nice and full. Or you could do a standard 3-strand braid. For today, I'm gonna do a standard 3-strand braid, but I'm also gonna post some photos for you guys that has it with the fishtail so you can see what that would look like. So I'm gonna get my 3 strands by inserting my fingers into the middle of that and dividing this into 3 pieces. And I'm gonna make sure to keep control of this hair so that I can keep my braid fairly tight for now. The reason why I want to keep it tight is later we're going to blouse this, and I want to make sure that my braid is nice and consistent and I'm not pulling hair from the other side. So if I start to get tangled up, I'm just going to smooth that out. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the bottom, or not space, but hair at the bottom, so that when I blouse my braid, as I'm pulling up, it's going to pull some of these hairs up, and I want to make sure that I have enough so that my blousing can be nice and full. We're going to secure the end of this braid with an elastic and set it off to the side here. If it gets in your way, you can just simply pull it up and pin it. I don't have a clip here, but you could clip it out of your way if need be. But because it's off to the side, it's really not too much in my way. And then I'm going to take this down here, the other section that we left out, and I'm going to secure it with an elastic. Maybe. So once I get that nice and secure, I'm going to just kind of shrink it up there, and I'm going to again do a 3-strand braid. I insert my fingers to get a nice even divided section, making sure there's no tangles going on in there. I'm going to continue with another 3-strand braid. I'm standing off to the side so you can see me, but if I were doing this behind a chair, I would make sure that I was standing in front of this lovely braid. Again, I'm going to leave some hair out at the bottom so that I have enough room to blouse without creating the braid to come unraveled. In my experience, that has happened. So I want to make sure that that doesn't happen as I've so I'm working smarter, not harder here. And then that's nice and tight. So what we're gonna do is we're going to first take a little bit of our powder clay or whatever texturizer you like to use. And I'm gonna sprinkle it into my braid and work that in. And then I'm going to create the blousing. As I blouse, I'm kind of pushing my fingers out so that way I'm creating the working of that product and taking that texture and pushing it in. This also helps secure the braid and the blousing. I've worked really hard at blousing before, and then you'll notice that sometimes it will kind of go back to its original form. By using the powder clay, it really helps keep that hair where you want it to be and keeps that pull out nice and consistent. I'm going to take one bobby pin and secure my bun here. So I'm going to wrap this into a bun, if you will, and just kind of create the style that I want, because this is going to be the base of our updo. So So once I get that bobby pin in there, I can move around and get my hairpins and know that it's going to be nice and secure. And I can start moving the hair to where I want it to be, where I want it to live. These little ends that stick out, you could just wrap them in with your hairpin. So grab the hair, stick it in there with your hairpin so that it's out of your way. And once I've got that secured and where I want it to live, I can now start blousing my second braid and incorporate it into my style. And I'm gonna pat that in. And continue blousing to make this braid nice and full. Another hot tip would be to use a crimping iron. I know that TG or Bedhead, they do make a crimping iron that is really, has really wide plates. I unfortunately don't have it here with me today, but you could crimp the hair before braiding it to give it some nice texture and fullness. It's a really good trick when you're working with finer hair types to give it that texture you need as well so it doesn't slip. So just something to consider. Now that we've bloused this lovely braid, we're gonna wrap it underneath our bun and bring the tail of the braid up and underneath so we can hide it inside of the other bun and secure it with a pin, a hair pin. I'm going to take some bobby pins and slide them underneath. This is going to help support my braid and keep it nice and tight and in place. So if this lovely lady decides to dance the night away, her braids are going to stay, her updo is going to stay, and she's going to come back next time she has a special event going on. And I'm just gonna keep working the pins in to really make sure that everything's nice and secure. So far, I've used about 7 bobby pins, so not too many, and just a couple hairpins to tie up any loose ends and make sure that her hair is sitting in the right position. And then I wanna make sure that I also hide the elastic. So there's no elastic showing over here. I've covered it with some hair by just taking the hairpin, getting a little piece of the braid and wrapping it in, and that really helps hide those for me. Now that I have got that nice and secure, I want to take my favorite hairspray. You can use a working spray, you can use a stiff hold. It's really up to you and where you are at this point. With the Bedhead hairspray, I like to hold it as far about can length away from the hair and give it a nice spray and then work the hair into place, securing any flyaways and really pushing that hair where I want it to live. I also like to, whoops, living moment, right? I also like to use my Paul Mitchell back combing brush. I really like to use that just to hold the hair where I want it to be and help smooth those flyaways down. And also to use the back end of my back combing brush to bring in any little hairs that may be giving me some anxiety. And another hot tip could be to spray just a little on your brush and pull that hair up and get it right into place. I'm gonna bring her a little bit closer so you guys can see what I've created with just 2 braids and 2 sections. Super cute little updo. You could add some flowers, you could add some beads, you could add whatever you want to make this special to this lovely gal, but she's all situated and ready to go. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today and taking the time to just maybe add to what you already know or to add to your tool belt. I look forward to bringing more education on demand for you guys, and I really hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're staying home, staying safe and healthy, and I look forward to seeing you at Ulta Academy once we get back in store. Thank you so much. Again, I'm Susan Asher Torres, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.